High in the Himalayas, ancient humans built settlements where survival itself seems impossible, and no one knows why they chose these mountains. The Himalayas are not just the tallest mountains on Earth. They are one of the most mysterious regions ever explored by humans, hiding stories far older than written history. For thousands of years, humans have crossed, lived, and vanished within these mountains. Yet much of what happened here was never recorded, only silently buried by time. Ancient travelers believed the Himalayas were not meant for ordinary life. They were seen as sacred, dangerous, and beyond human control. Despite this, people once built settlements deep within these unforgiving landscapes, places where survival itself required extraordinary knowledge and discipline. These were not temporary camps, they were organized settlements, carefully positioned against wind, snow, and landslides. Archaeological traces suggest that some Himalayan communities thrived at extreme altitudes, conditions where modern humans struggle even today. The question is not whether humans lived here. The real mystery is why they chose such a harsh environment. Food was scarce, weather unpredictable, and movement dangerous. Yet people adapted, learning the rhythm of the mountains. They understood seasonal patterns, melting snow, and hidden water sources. Knowledge passed through generations, not written records. Ancient Himalayan routes connected distant regions long before modern roads existed. These paths were lifelines carved by human persistence. Merchants, monks, and travelers moved through these mountains. They carried goods, ideas, and beliefs across civilizations. Some routes led to places that no longer exist on modern maps, settlements that vanished without explanation. No records tell us when these communities were founded or why they were abandoned. There are no clear signs of war, invasion, or disaster. The silence is what makes their disappearance unsettling. Some historians believe climate shifts played a role. Small changes here could mean survival or death. Others suggest trade routes slowly collapsed, isolating these communities. Without connection, life became impossible. Yet not all Himalayan mysteries involve disappearance. Some involve purpose. Certain sites show signs of ritual rather than daily life. Built far from resources, yet carefully maintained. Why build sacred spaces where survival is hardest? This question has no clear answer. Ancient cultures often believed mountains connected earth and sky, a place where humans could reach something beyond themselves. The Himalayas became more than geography. They became symbols of endurance, belief, and isolation. Living here demanded cooperation rather than conquest. Nature could not be controlled, only respected. This may explain why these communities left little evidence of hierarchy. Survival mattered more than power. Unlike empires, Himalayan settlements left no grand monuments. Their strength was quiet and practical. Over time, many of these places were simply abandoned, not destroyed, just left behind. Snow, wind, and silence erased daily traces of life. Only stone endured. Modern explorers often stumble upon these sites by accident. There are no signs pointing the way. Every discovery raises more questions than answers. Who lived here, and for how long? The Himalayas do not reveal their secrets easily. They demand patience, respect, and humility. And this is only part of the mystery. Because deeper in the mountains, stories grow even stranger. Deeper within the Himalayas, the terrain becomes even more unforgiving. Here, the environment itself feels hostile to long-term human presence. Yet archaeological evidence suggests humans pushed even farther into these regions. not by accident, but by intention. Some sites are located far from trade routes or fertile land. Their placement defies practical explanation. This has led researchers to question the true purpose of these locations. Survival alone may not explain their existence. Many of these structures align with surrounding peaks and valleys. Their orientation appears deliberate rather than random. Such alignment suggests a deeper understanding of landscape and space, possibly linked to belief, ritual, or observation. In ancient cultures, high places often held spiritual meaning. Mountains were seen as bridges between worlds. The Himalayas may have served as a vast sacred landscape, a place where humans sought connection rather than control. Living here required discipline, cooperation, and restraint. Mistakes could not be survived. This environment naturally limited population growth and expansion. Only small, resilient communities could endure. Over generations, knowledge replaced technology. Understanding the mountains became the most valuable skill. But even the deepest knowledge could not stop change. The Himalayas themselves are always shifting. Earthquakes, landslides, and climate shifts altered familiar routes. What was once accessible became dangerous. Slowly, communities adapted by moving or disappearing. There was no single moment of collapse. This gradual change left no dramatic ruins, only quiet absence. Unlike fallen empires, the Himalayas erased evidence gently. Time worked slowly, but completely. What remains today are fragments, enough to prove existence, not enough to explain it. Modern researchers must interpret silence. Every conclusion remains uncertain. The Himalayas resist simple explanations. They demand humility from those who study them. Perhaps this is why so many stories remain unfinished. The mountains decide what is remembered. Every abandoned site becomes part of the landscape again. Stone returns to stone. Nature does not preserve history for curiosity. It preserves only what endures. The Himalayas are not silent because they lack stories. They are silent because their stories are ancient. What we call mystery may simply be distance in time, a gap too wide to cross. These mountains have watched civilizations rise and vanish elsewhere. They remained unchanged. Human presence here was always temporary. The Himalayas were never meant to belong to anyone. And yet humans returned again and again, drawn by something difficult to explain. Perhaps it was belief, perhaps necessity, or perhaps the Himalayas offered something rare, a reminder of human limits. The mystery of the Himalayas is not what was built here, it is why humans kept returning, knowing they could never conquer it. If you love mysteries like this, subscribe to the Unexplained History.